What is up, everybody? I wanted to get the E30 back on the channel, so today we're going over the 7 best mods that you can do for your E30. All that in today's episode. My name is Ryan. This is Project Race Car. Let's get into it. Some of you guys have seen Greta before, but if you didn't know, she is a 1991 BMW 318IS. The first mod that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take the old muffler and chop that thing off, and then weld a new straight pipe on. This is going to increase the sound naturally, and it's also going to just give you more oomph to the E30. These cars are pretty slow, but if you go over and they at least feel fast with a nice muffler delete. Now, you can always purchase a full catback exhaust, but that gets pretty expensive. So if you want to purchase that, then you can, but I always recommend just chopping off the muffler, putting a pipe on there. So just the tubing and the tools, I spent probably 50 bucks on mine. And it actually sounds pretty good. I'll get a quick start for you. The second mod that you're going to want to do, this one kind of varies in price, but you're going to want to replace the steering wheel. The old stock steering wheel is very big, very bulky, and it makes the car kind of feel like a boat. So I went over and got the hub assembly on Amazon, and same thing with the wheel. The whole thing cost me about 100 bucks, but it makes the car actually feel the size that it is. Since we were talking about the steering wheel, the third best mod is going to be to replace all of the steering components. The E30s came with a rubber bushing in stock steering columns, and what that rubber bushing did over time was it broke down, and it's very, very soft and squishy, and it leads to very sloppy steering. So if you replace that, the steering will become a lot more tighter, as well as you can also go the extra distance. And what I did was I replaced the steering rack, and the rack and pinion, I replaced it to a Z3 BMW, which is the shortest gearing ratio of all the BMW racks, and it went from a 3.7 or 3.9 steering ratio lock to lock to 2.7. I believe. I don't know. It's a crazy difference. It tightened up all of my steering issues. When I first got the E30, it was very, very sloppy. Everything in it was just all over the place. So while we're also talking about the interior, I should talk about the short throw shifter, which brings us to the fourth best mod for your E30. The actual throw on the stock shifter is really lengthy, and it uses up a lot of throw, and it's really obnoxious. A lot of the bushings go bad in there, and they need a refresh after 30 years. So I would recommend getting a full chassis mount short throw shifter from Geargistics. This fully mounts to the chassis, and it's full billet aluminum, and I'd say that it's well worth it. This is first gear, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So the side-to-side play, I ended up not going with the bracket that I need to replace, but that'll be in a future video. This was a little bit pricey for the regular car enthusiast. This was a $300 shifter, and as well as you need to buy the transmission mounts and the motor mounts, which are a little bit more aggressive, but they are also worth it to replace. This whole system wasn't very cheap, but it's well worth it because of the full short throw shifter. It's very precise, and you get used to it. It's very, very strong and sturdy, and I'd say that it's the fourth best mod. When we talk about the fifth best mod, we're going to be talking about rims and tires. Now, my E30 went from this to this. So the rims and tires make a huge difference. I would highly recommend staying in the 16-inch rim range. So going with a more aggressive tire setup, it ends up being a lot better. I went with a square setup so that I can rotate them all the way around. This is for sure a great mod, and a good mod to start with as well. Getting new rims and tires is always a really fun one. It is a little bit expensive. I think I spent $1,300 on these rims and tires. Okay, this is the most exciting one, and this is mod number 6. We're going to be talking about coilovers. So I went with BC Racing coilovers, and these were by far the most expensive actual mod on this car. I think I spent $1,100 in parts, and then $200 to get it welded, and then another $75 for alignment. So in total, I spent a lot of money on the coilovers, but they are hands down the best mod that I have ever done. I highly recommend coilovers. But you can kind of see them under there. They are nice and shiny. Again, you can adjust the ride height, which is really nice because I can have the rears low, the front a little bit higher so that I don't scrape. The best part about the coilovers is they actually help improve the car. They are the best bang for your buck in terms of actual modifications. The great thing about coilovers, they gave me so much confidence in this car because when I, turn the wheel and, throw it into a corner, it actually responds how I'd want it to and how I'd expect it to. Coilovers not only help with looks, but they also help with handling. And again, your car will actually respond the way that you expect it to. Now, with the E30 chassis being 30 to 35 years old, we do have to look at a lot of this stuff breaking and expecting these cars to not handle super well. So what I did when I bought this car is I looked at the most pressing issues. The steering rack was leaking, so I replaced that with a better one. The shocks were completely blown, so I replaced them with better ones. That's one of the nice things about owning an older car is that the things are going to go bad either way, but now you'll just be able to spend a little bit extra money to actually make your car nice. The final mod number 7, I think that this one is the most important. Besides maintenance and all that jazz, make sure to take care of your car, make sure to do regular oil changes, make sure to do the brakes and all that stuff. That's just regular mods. This one is most important for E30s because especially when you get coilovers, you'll be sitting really low. So I want to say that every E30, if you don't have this, you should get one. And that is a skid plate. Now, this skid plate, you can see, has taken some damage. But the great thing is that it protects your oil pan. Your oil pan sits the lowest out of anything on the car. It sits even lower than your exhaust. Your oil pan actually sits below the steering rack, so you can see just how low it sits in terms of your car, and you really need to protect this thing, otherwise you're going to slap. You can see on the bottom that the previous owner smacked the actual oil pan a couple times. I'd say that the skid plate is one of the first things that you should actually buy for the E30, just for extra safety measures, just so that you're not out here smacking oil pans. So highly recommend that. And I know this video didn't talk too much about power. The E30s are really slow, so the next video I can actually talk about power mods and ways to get your horsepower a little bit up. I'm going to be focusing on the E30 as soon as I get the M3 sold. She is almost done. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope it helped you in some way. So make sure to give this video a like and subscribe if you are brand new. Go check those other videos out if you need help on installing coilovers or brakes, doing the rims. If you guys want to see any other videos, just go check the description down below. Anyways, until next time, my name is Ryan. This is Project Race Car. Have an amazing day. Peace.